Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey and today I'm here with a lot of books because I am an overachiever, I am ambitious, and some of these books are short. So I have 18 books on my October TBR. So let's just jump right into it.
Oh, hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
So I do have a semi-plan for this TBR. So that involves the first two books that go together. So first I want to read Great Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe, from Edgar Allan Poe, obviously. And I got this book at a Scholastic book fair. Probably in high school, probably in grade 7. I was an ambitious child, as you can tell. And I did read most of it. As you could tell, it does have like a broken spine. So I did divulge into this because I was an angsty youth. So what I want to do is, this anthology called His Hideous Heart, which is edited by Dahlia Adler, came out pretty recently, 2019. And basically, all the authors in the back have written reimaginings of Edgar Allan Poe's work. So what I want to do is read the work from here and then read the short story that's in here, and then I will knock 2 books out. Whatever is not retold in here, I'll just continue to read from this because I do really want to reread this, maybe like take some notes, analyze, because
I'm an English major.
So those are the first 2 books. Then don't forget that me and Daniela over at Current Chapter are reading Dune by Frank Herbert in the month of October. I have a whole video on it that I will link up above, or here, I think it's here, link up above, explaining exactly what we will be reading. But essentially, Dune is set on the desert planet of Arrakis, and a young boy who comes from like this royal family kind of has his family is betrayed, and this young boy, Paul Atreides, has to travel over what I'm assuming is a desert land and uncover a journey. I'm very excited. I've already split up my pages, so this will not be one I will be completing within 1 or 2 sittings. This will definitely be one I'm taking my time over the month, and I'm super excited. Then we'll just get into the 3 books that I don't have, so I remember to put the pictures right after the other. I just got approved of an arc of Kingdom of Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This book, all I know truly is that it takes place in Sicily, and I was like, the motherland, my homeland, Italy, love it. But what is it actually about? I don't know. So Emilia and her twin sister Vittoria are streghe, which is the Italian word for witches, but they're basically witches who live secretly among humans, avoiding notice and persecution. One night Vittoria misses dinner service at the family's renowned Sicilian restaurant. Emilia soon finds the body of her beloved twin, desecrated beyond belief. So devastated, she sets out to seek her sister's killer. All right, I'm down for this. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by my favorite author, V.E. Schwab, comes out this month as well, so you bet your fucking ass that I'm gonna read this. If I don't read anything else besides Dune, because Daniela's counting on me, if I don't read anything else but The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, that's all I care about. This follows a woman named Addie LaRue, when striking a deal with the devil to live forever, is cursed with the fact that every time she meets someone or every time she's in a room, as soon as she leaves that person's life or leaves their visual scape, she will be completely forgotten. And then everything changes 300 years later when she meets a boy who says that he's seen her before. So I'm super excited. I love Victoria Schwab. I've pretty much given everything I've ever read by her 5 stars. So high hopes that will probably be met, but I am super fucking excited. And maybe I'll film a vlog. I'll probably film a vlog. Then coming to me in the mail, like within the next couple of days, I have Vampires Never Get Old, Tales with a Fresh Bite. So this is an anthology about vampire stories. And listen, a bitch loved Twilight, okay? I cannot emphasize this enough. I was an emo. I love this shit. So I'm super excited. Victoria Schwab does have a short story in this, so I'm excited, but it also has a lot of authors that I'm interested in reading from, like Tessa Gratton, Marco Shiro, Rebecca Roanhorse. She wrote a fucking really scary story in what I thought was a contemporary anthology that I read last year or this year called Hungry Hearts. So I was like super impressed by her, so I'm very excited to read her short story in an actual scary anthology. But yeah, I'm reading it. Now you must be wondering, Kelsey, all these books seem humongous, and you're right. So how am I going to combat all these books? Well, I have a couple of shorter books that I want to get to this month. So we have the classic We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. This is a deliciously unsettling novel about a perverse, isolated, and possibly murderous family and the struggle that ensues when the outside forces disrupt their delicate way of life. Sounds exciting, and I'm always into like spooky classics because I like to see if they are actually spooky. So then we also have The Test by Sylvain Nouvelle. This is probably like my shortest one. Basically, I didn't think that this was spooky, but apparently it is. This is basically about a man set in Britain in the not so distant future where he has to take the citizenship test. The test takes an unexpected and tragic turn. I'm very excited. I've never read from Sylvain Nouvelle before, but he is a Montreal writer, so I love supporting my brethren. And it's only 104 pages, so I could bang this out in a night. We're good. Then I've always been super intrigued by Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, and this is about a group of women who are the 11th expedition to go into Area X. All the other expeditions like died tragically and in weird circumstances. Their job is to map the terrain, record their observations of their surroundings, and survive. Super excited for this. This is like probably one of the books I'm the most interested on my TBR, so looking forward to this. And then I also have a classic from one of my favorite authors, John Wyndham. This is The Midwich Cuckoos. This takes place in an English village called Midwich, where a mysterious silver object like comes down and all the inhabitants fall asleep at once. And then when they wake up, all the women are pregnant. And the result of which is that all the children that come from these pregnancies do not look like their parents. They're all blonde and golden eyed. I think, if I recall, I think one of these was on The Simpsons. Actually, I was right. It is from The Simpsons and it's spooky as fuck.
Get off from my moor, you mischievous winds.
Actually, we'd prefer to stay. You're thinking about hurting us.
Simpsons has adapted everything, but super excited for this. I like John Wyndham's writing, especially in the chrysalids. I think he has a lot of super interesting concepts and ideas, and I love how he adapts them into his novels. So I'm very excited to read this. And if you think, Kelsey, why don't you stop here? No, absolutely not. October is usually the only time of the year that I read Stephen King. So I first of all have Carrie, classic, the first book Stephen King ever published that I never read. Basically, it's about a young woman named Carrie who has some powers. Anyways, we all know what this is about. We all know the scene at the end with the pig's blood. Like, do I need to say more? I'm really excited to read where Stephen King has started from. It's pretty large print, so I can probably read this really quickly, and I'm very excited. Then I also have The Dark Half by Stephen King. This is about an author named Thad Beaumont who for 13 years wrote a best-selling violent crime fiction series. And essentially this is just about how this author had two sides. This is probably the Stephen King that I've been the most interested in reading just from a writing perspective, and I just think it's really interesting that this tackles like dealing with your own demons, dealing with like kind of your pen name identity. I'm super excited to see the themes that Stephen King tackles in this book. Then another thriller I really want to read is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. Alyssa Cole wrote probably one of my favorite romance novels that I read this year called Once Ghosted, Twice Shy. Fantastic, by the way. But this is a thriller, and I'm super excited because all I know is that this basically focuses on a woman named Cindy who was born and raised in Brooklyn. And overnight, it seems like condos are going up for sale, white people are moving into her neighborhood. From what I understand from Own Voices reviews that I've seen is that this really tackles gentrification, the horror of gentrification. So I'm super into seeing that develop through this novel, and I trust Alyssa Cole. I think she's a fantastic writer. And the selling point is that it is Rear Window, which I don't know what it is, meets Get Out in a gripping thriller. So super excited. So then we have The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James. This actually is super creepy because I wrote a short story that is in pretty similar vein to this. So this follows a girl named Romy Silvers, who is the only surviving crew member on a spaceship bound for a new planet. So she's the only girl in the universe because she's not talking to anybody in space, obviously. And then she hears that a second spaceship has launched from Earth with a single passenger on board, and it's a boy called Jay. Their only communication is via email, and that's it. It sounds like it would be just a simple romance, sci-fi romance. However, I've heard that it's really spooky, so looking forward to see how that develops. Then along the same lines of like spooky sci-fi, we have The Luminous Dead by Caitlin Starling. I know nothing about this except that Riley over at rileymarie rated this 5 stars, so I was like, I trust her with my life, so I'm gonna buy it. Basically, this is The Martian meets Annihilation. Oh my god! a video concept is glooming in me. So I know nothing about this except that there is this woman named Gear Pierce who lied her way into an expedition, and she thought she'd just be mapping mineral deposits and the greatest dangers would be cave collapses and stuff like that. She thought that she would have a skilled surface team to keep her suit and environment safe and keep her sane, but that is not at all what happens, as you can imagine by this cover. So very into this, and I know that this is FF, so okay. Then we have 4 books left. My nonfiction choice for this month is The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson. This is a nonfiction that is extremely hyped. I'm super into reading this. Basically, it's 2 situations occurring in the same year. So there's the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, where America is striving to put their place on the map of the world. And then at the same time, there is a serial killer who is using the fair to lure his victims to death. And I've heard nothing but extravagant things about this book. Apparently the writing is beautiful. It is thrilling. It almost doesn't even read like a nonfiction. So those are keywords. I'm into it. Then we have The Radleys by Matt Haig. I read The Humans by Matt Haig a couple of months ago, gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I love his writing style, so I'm super into reading this. All I know about this is that it's a family of vampires. On a leafy street, there lives a very ordinary and averagely dysfunctional happy family. Peter Radley is the village doctor, and his wife Helen is a part of a local book club. And their family have been keeping a secret. And there's a cat on the cover, so I'm super into this. I love Matt Haig. Super excited to pick this up. In order to ease my suffering this month, I picked up a middle grade called Night Books by J.A. White. This was actually suggested to me by Daniela because she had also picked it up and it sounded super interesting. Basically, this boy named Alex is imprisoned in an apartment by a witch, and the witch likes stories. So Alex's only chance of survival is keeping the witch satisfied by telling like hair-raising tales each night. That sounds like an interesting enough premise to me. It looks super easy. The writing is chill. Like I'm down to pick this up one night, and it shouldn't scare me too much. A lot of these books I'm a little worried, but some of them are here to like ease me. And then finally, the last book I want to read this month is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Despite being probably the most hyped book on my TBR, I have no idea what this is about. All I know is that it is definitely dark academia, and from my experience of reading dark academia, I'm expecting emo-ness, pretentiousness, philosophy, and murder. That's what the synopsis says. Under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. Even that synopsis sounded pretentious as fuck. So the English major in me is excited. That's it. Are you fed up of me? Because I'm fed up of talking. If you have read any of these books, please let me know down below what you thought about them. If I think you're wrong, I will argue with you in the comments because I love to debate. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell if you wanna. I don't know how to end these things, so I guess I will see you next time. Bye.